deceive the faithful. To deceive?
This is how to deceive the faithful.
To deceive the faithful.
I can't speak that.
You say it. I can't.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Mina.
And I'm Kat, and this is a guide on how to be the ultimate traitor. How to deceive the faithfuls.
Let's get into it.
Strategy and game plan. I did not have a game plan. I was just really conscious of the fact that I just needed to make it through every day and then adjust accordingly. You could think something in the morning and think you're completely fine. Then all of a sudden in the evening, someone's coming for you and you had no idea. Celia randomly said my name out of the blue. You're nervous as a kitten. It's you. I was like, wait, I haven't even done anything yet. Wait, just give me like a moment just to settle in. What? So you just don't know what's going to happen. And you might think you know things. Like with me, when Joe voted for me and I was like, what? Like you just can't plan anything, but I was mindful of trying to be in every conversation to have a rough idea of what was being said. If anyone was like, I've had suspicions of you, just be like, I've got to have suspicions of everyone. It's fine. That was kind of my game plan. Just don't respond too intensely to either or, because people will think either or is suspicious.
Yeah. I liked when Stephen Fry was like, you've been sleeping a lot in the cars, and you were like,
I'm
brother?
autistic.
I'm autistic.
What now? Yeah. I was genuinely, I just sort of I just needed a moment alone. Because I was just like, this is quite a lot. It's quite intense. But yeah, I didn't really have a game plan.
Yeah. You can kind of have a game plan, but it all goes out the window. Every day is so different. In the morning, you could think, I'm cool as a cucumber. Yeah. But people are plotting against you, and that's the worst bit as a traitor. I suppose you don't know what's going on outside of the conversations you're a part of. Yeah. My whole thing was be myself, in the sense, make friends with everyone, because I naturally would anyway, and hope for the best, and it worked.
I think you should have recruited Liam.
I know.
And then you would have been a winner.
I know, Charlotte.
I know. Wretched Charlotte. Just actually have to be yourself.
Yeah.
Number one, point blank. You've got to be yourself. Act how you would if you were a faithful.
Whilst being a traitor.
Whilst being a traitor.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're both naturally quieter people, or happy to let people take the lead. So I think that's probably our biggest similarity playing the game.
Yes.
And I think that's a good technique to go into it.
I also knew that the roundtable was going to scare me. So I spoke more during the day and said names during the day. Oh. So no one could say that I never said any names, but you couldn't link it back to me either.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like, if someone said, oh, has anyone mentioned this person's name? I would be like, yeah, this person mentioned this person's name. So you can never say that I mentioned anyone's names, but I did say names.
Love it. The more you get into the game, people start to notice that actually, use myself as an example, Mina, you don't actually bring much to the table, in the sense you'll say, oh yeah, I agree with that, or I disagree with that,
right?
But you've not actually accused anyone of being a traitor. Therefore, are you the traitor?
Yes.
Did you find that?
Yes, that was an issue that I really struggled with, because I was like, it's really hard to go for someone when you know it's not them. That's probably why Alan did so well, because he would happily go for people and know it wasn't them, and oh, I think it's you. Whereas I was like, I can't, I know it's not them.
No, I agree.
So I used to just try and keep my mouth shut and just hope for the best.
And agree or disagree. Yeah, just don't throw out any names.
No, exactly. I'm not actually that good of a liar.
Oh.
My sister and my mum, when they were watching it, they were like, it's quite obvious to us that you're lying, because people don't know you. They don't know your mannerisms. I was looking at myself going, it's so quite obviously me. I was giggling quite a bit. I just think people thought I was a bit too sweet to have been able to do it.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
You're a good liar.
Some may say a pathological liar.
Oh.
The thing is, I lie out of banter, for the lols. I'm not lying for real. Right. I don't lie about serious stuff, right? But before even going on to the show, I had this thing for a year. I'd hide my husband's phone.
Oh.
But it would go on for 45 minutes. Yeah.
And he was there where's my phone? And you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, he'd get to the point where he'd be like, I've obviously lost it. And then I'd go, loser. But it started off small, and then before I knew it, I was hiding his phone in cupboards.
What joy? Does that bring you joy?
Yeah, it's the thrill of him spiral.
It's the thrill of watching him suffer. And
he'd say to me, if I get dementia, you've brought it on, because you're making me do mathematics for no reason. I'd put it in the car, I'd hide it under the bed, and it was just
for fun,
because I wanted to see how far I'd go.
But what happens if he did that back to you?
I'd punch him in his eye.
Right. There we go.
I think you need to think of it as, I'm not an actress, but I see it as my audition for a role.
Okay.
So really, I need to convince the viewers, my husband, that I haven't got his phone, so you need to just compose yourself. Kat's like, get this psychopath away from me.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
She's unwell.
Right.
Just control your face and start small. Please don't lie about like crazy stuff. I'm just hiding a phone. But I even lied to my midwife once. Yeah. Like, it's just funny.
Right.
It's not. Yeah. And every time you get closer to them believing you is a win. It's like, I'm leaving.
Me.
No, genuinely. So he'd be like, "Have you got my phone?" And I'd go, "No." And he's like, "Obviously you're lying." So then I'd say, "I'm not." You see the glimpse in their eyes that they're starting to believe you, and then you just have to keep going and going and going.
And then you choose at the moment.
And when I've broke him, that's when I go, "Here's your phone." Or once I've actually just put it somewhere, and then he's like found it, and I've gone, "See, didn't have it."
So you like to just play games?
Yeah.
That poor man. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Gotta keep the spark alive. I cried at 3 round tables.
Did you?
Yeah. I cried when Freddie was getting accused of being a traitor,
Oh,
because I
I
felt so
felt
sorry
for him.
for him, and I was adding to it with the clique thing.
Yeah.
But I knew he was a faithful, and I just thought, this is so unfair on him.
Yeah, I felt for him, man.
Yeah, so that bit's hard, but I think doing that, people believed me to be a faithful.
Yeah.
And there was a mission where I cried because I just got overstimulated. And then Jake actually said, "That's the moment I knew you were a faithful." So I said, "Oh, fair enough, I'll take it." But I just was really overstimulated. Try and not get too emotional about yourself. If it's about other people,
Yeah.
I feel like that's fair enough, because it's normal to like get upset for somebody else or to be angry towards somebody else. But when you're angry that you're getting accused, you start to look a bit...
That's when you look a bit suspicious.
Yeah.
That might just be like my black and white thinking.
Yeah.
I was just like, this isn't real. This is a game. So if you're taking it personally, why?
Yeah, Dan was like that on our year.
It's
He was
just-
just like,
yeah.
why is everyone so emotional?
Why is everyone being rude around me? Yeah, I was just like, it's not that deep. It's not real. It's just a game. And I think when people obviously like, when the roundtables got super intense and like you could see people kind of maybe getting choked up or like having to say their speech when you know that they were a faithful, I'd be like, that's hard for them, man. But I think my season wasn't really even the traitors' fault, to be honest. It was the other faithfuls that were voting them out. So
Yeah.
it was just sort of like, oh, you lot are not doing a good job. You just flung out another person. Like,
Yeah.
but to me, I was just like, this isn't real. This is a game. But I think when the numbers start to get smaller, that's when you feel more watched. So you feel a little bit more on edge. But I never took anything personally.
Oh,
Um,
I wish I was like that.
Really?
I literally felt like it was life or death. And I actually started to think, these people are never going to speak to me again.
really?
Yeah, and I
But it is quite intense, though.
Yeah,
it is quite intense.
It's very intense, and I think part of it, I kind of just like gave up towards the end, because I was like, I've just called Leanne Two-Face, but it was a joke, but she's not going to see it as a joke, she's not going to speak to me again, and I was just like, I just want to go home.
Wrap it up.
I literally, at any opportunity, I was like, I must be a traitor.
Really?
They were like, well, there's no guarantees, and I was like, no, there has to be. I have to be a traitor. I just feel like it's the ultimate fun.
It is.
Do you know when people say, "Oh, I just never want to be a traitor"? I'm like, have you watched The Traitors?
Yeah, you are the main character.
Yeah,
you get
and
to be the main character.
I suffer from the main character energy. So,
Alright, well,
yeah,
that's-
I was like, I have to be.
But I think if I was a faithful, I would have got murdered like straight away.
Yeah.
'Cause I think I would have worked it out. Then when I spoke to Claudia, that was genuinely the moment when I was like, you know what? I've come all the way here.
Yeah.
Make me one. Let's have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And then when she actually made me one, I was like, oh, I actually have to do this now.
I think when you're a traitor, you've got control. People say it's easier being a traitor, and I disagree. But you've got the control of, at least you're not going to get murdered. So you know, if you make it through the round table,
Then you're fine.
you live for another day.
Yeah, you have more control. And I think I did prefer being in control, because all you have to do is keep up the lie.
Yeah.
As long as you keep up the lie, you're kind of fine.
I imagine as a faithful, you're accusing people.
Yeah.
And then you look back on it and you're like, wow, I was so wrong.
Was off. You kind of just have to mentally prepare yourself. People are going to say things to you, and you just have to kind of act unbothered, because I think if you act too bothered or just sort of panic, if it was season 1,
I know what you're saying.
where he was
Scottish
like, I am or amn't, and he just glitched and no one was coming for him, and he just went in there and was like, guys, I think you guys think it's me. And everyone was like, we literally don't. But it's time for you to go. If you go too defensive, and people are like, why are you being so defensive? And if you're not defensive at all, then people are like, why do you not seem to care at all? So you kind of have to sit in the middle and sort of justify your actions. But this is why I think it's important to be yourself because you can use your own characteristics as a reason. When Stephen was like, oh, you've been sleeping, as a autistic person with ADHD, it is overwhelming being around people 24/7 was quite overwhelming, so I took myself to the side to have a nap. But then when he said that, I was like, well, this is the reason why. If you're quite a shy person and someone's like, you're not really saying anything, you're like, I am just generally quite a shy person, because you can't argue with that. With autism, especially in girls, like, we're quite high masking, so you're having to, like, I'm only truly myself when I'm completely by myself. So being around people, there's a mask that you put on to be able to socialise and exist and stuff like that. So the added mask of being a traitor wasn't hard for me at all. It was more just me, like, psyching myself up to socialise just in general with people, talk to people and ask them questions and small talk and all that stuff. But the added layer of being a traitor wasn't really it was quite easy. I walked around my room going, I'm faithful. I'm a faithful. I'm a faithful. You can put my name down, but I'm a faithful.
Yeah.
I was just walking around my room, just acting things out. I was really, really nervous. Oh my God, this is actually quite stressful. And I was convinced everyone thought it was me. And then I took a breath and I was like, Claudia made us a traitor for a reason. I looked at myself in the mirror, I spoke to myself and said, she made us a traitor for a reason. We're literally not allowed to say that we are one. So we're not one. That was the main performance I did. I was just like, I can do it. It's fine. And then I'd walk in and go, I'm a faithful.
Alan should have practiced that when it said I'm a faithful and he laughed.
Well, people still just thought it was funny. I think because he was that same way from the get-go, people didn't think his behaviour was strange. People just were like, that's just him. Yeah. But I think if it was the civilian one, he would have been...
Yeah, he'd be done a long time ago.
Straight away.
100%.
But I think Alan could just get away with anything. He could forget he had a shield. He'd walk in with a cloak and the lantern, and people would be like, "That's not how." He's just like in a costume. Yeah, so I think he would have been able to get away with it, and he's good at sort of catching himself anyway. So even when people be like, "Oh, you forgot it," he was able to bring it back and talk about it. So
you have to convince yourself you're a faithful. Yeah. Once you've convinced yourself you're a faithful, you're just like everybody else. There's nothing different about you.
Yeah.
You just have this extra life on the side that happens at the night time, and it doesn't exist. It's all in your head. If you want to have a different kind of identity, even that, I just think, what? Especially if you're a traitor. If you're a traitor, you've got enough to think about without the added pressure of, I can't imagine being a traitor, having a different accent or a different job. I remember on ours, Leanne said she was a nail tech. Yeah. Lisa was asking her, can you fix my nail? She had nothing. So then it's like you've got that to worry about as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, that would have been too much additional unnecessary pressure.
What if you're excited about something and then you've been doing this all day and then all of a sudden you go, oh my goodness! Everyone goes, hey,
traitor!
Who's that? Since when did you speak like that? And then you're like, God, and then you have to. Then
you're like, oh, I've got split personalities, and then it's more lies, and it's just
or you turn into that guy that just stands up and goes, "That's my girlfriend," and everyone was like, "Huh?"
Yeah,
and he was like, "Yeah, it's my girlfriend." Yeah, so just maybe don't tell a fib. I mean, I make quite vulnerable music, so I think that helped in people seeing me as like someone that wouldn't murder in the nighttime versus someone maybe like Nico who's more of a prankster, so then people thought, oh, maybe he could be pranking people and stuff like that. So I think I do get why people would say a different job, because I do think that people do start thinking about what people do and how that could benefit them in the game, or how they could use that. So I do get why people would change. I don't think that's actually good to do. People are like, I think it's you, and you're like, funny you say that. I think it's you. People are like,
it's convenient.
Yeah, it's very, very convenient. Kind of just have to take it on board and explain yourself.
You are going to accuse everyone. You're going to look at everyone. That's a really good way of like handling it.
Yeah.
And then moving on and either throwing out an accusation that's not the person who's just accused you, or moving on to something else.
Yeah.
Delightful.
It was quite funny. We were really communicative with each other. Like me, Jonathan and Alan would talk to each other whenever we had said each other's names. So I think we just kind of had a little bit of fun. People had their theories and you'd be like lifting up their theories. So you're like, what kind of theory is that? We'd be like, I think it's Ruth because she made a plate full of marshmallows all perfectly placed. And I was like, what? I was trying not to laugh. Like, okay, the marshmallows were on your plate. Stuff like that.
It was just me and my Linda. Vast majority of like my experience.
Yeah.
And anytime someone spoke about Linda, I was like, no, it must be Lisa that you mean. Like I just always shut it down. I was like, as far as I'm here and as long as I can protect her, I'm protecting her because she'd do the same for me.
Oh, that's sweet.
So that was probably the saddest day when she got banished. But anybody else, I was like, yeah.
All bets are off. I think you should actually be a team with the traitors because it's highly unlikely that everyone's going to get to the end. But if you can help at least one of you be able to get to the end, I think is the best bet rather than trying to play your own separate game.
Yeah.
If you need to throw me under the bus, throw me under the bus. We were really communicative and we got on really well. So it was just, we were just like, look, I'm going to have to do this if this happens. And we were like, yeah, you just have to do what you have to do, man.
Yeah. So mine's slightly different.
Yeah.
Because obviously I voted for Armani. And I would have actually, in that turret the night that she gave me feedback, Linda and I was going to tell her that her name's getting mentioned.
Yeah.
But then she gave me feedback and I just thought, we are on 2 different pages here and we can't continue together. And you're going and I'm not going with you. And I then proceeded to tell everyone that she definitely is giving traitor vibes. And didn't protect her once because how are you giving me feedback on day 2 or 3?
Yeah, which she said you lot need to do more.
Yeah, she was like, you need to do more. I was thinking, I've come here to tell you, you need to do less. So that one, that was fine. Before I voted for her, I knew there was enough numbers for it. I'd done the maths in my head. I was like, there's no way she's not going, so I voted for her.
Yeah.
Linda, that was really hard writing her name down, but she obviously gave me her blessing to vote for her. Do you know what? If you've ever met Linda, the way you see her on the Traitors, that's what she's like 24/7.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she's like
she did get quite far.
No, she's brilliant. I think she may be too theatrical because that's her her natural personality.
Right.
You go for a drink with her and she's like, darling, should we have another glass of wine? Like everything's very exaggerated, and I think in Traitors where it's civilians, like any weird thing that sticks out, people are gonna like cling on to for a reason that you are a traitor.
Yeah.
And you're not given the benefit of the doubt for your personality. No. That is probably the biggest difference with mine and yours.
Yeah.
Thing I learned from Linda is if you are theatrical, just bring it down 7 notches.
Oh, yeah. I feel like both of us probably the same, like we were just being ourselves.
Yeah.
And if there are really big characters that want to talk more and speak more, I'm never going to be someone that's going to be like, let me speak. I'm just going to always sit back and just let other people kind of do their thing. It can only get you so far because I think if you fly too far under the radar, probably like us, people go, who have we not looked at?
Yeah.
You. And then you're gone. You don't even have any time to like try and back yourself. Versus if you get heat at the start and you manage to get away from it, you kind of get to...
Yeah. It works for so long.
Yeah. But
you almost want a good amount of heat towards the middle of the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's actually why I recruited Charlotte, because she had heat on like the second day, and even I voted for her and I was part of the heat, which is probably why she was like
Yeah.
But then it got to a point where everyone's like, Charlotte's on my 100% faithful, so I was like, oh, well, pick her because no one suspects her.
Yeah.
And little did I know,
and she said,
see
your days are numbered.
I can't bite my tongue. It's not a skill I've been able to pick up yet in life.
At the start, Stephen was like, it's not how people say things, it's what they say. We should be looking for slip-ups and things like that. So I was just really mindful of what I said, not give up too much information because I didn't want to slip up and then people will be like, well, you said this earlier. I'd rather you not really have that much to say about me, which is harder to then vote for me if there's not much to say.
Always add to conversations, but also don't do too much. Like, there are people who, I suppose that's just their natural personality. Like, they can't stop talking.
Yeah.
So if you're that way inclined, whether you're a faithful or a traitor, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you need to be able to just like rein it in a bit and just note what's said and then move on.
Yeah. You need to be somewhere in the middle to actually win it. I think if you think of the ones like Wilf, he got all the way to the end. Harry, the same thing, it's both. If you're too loud, people will be like, you're a bit confident. Yeah. And then they'll sort of fling you out. And then if you're too quiet towards the end, people will go, yeah, it's you probably. So I think you've got to be in the middle, throw accusations out, be okay with eyes being on you when you're saying who you think it is. Yeah,
you need to be able to adapt and be aggressive to a certain point. Like, to win as a traitor, like obviously Harry was quiet and he was the young one, and Paul was the loud clown, and I can say that because I love Paul. Mm-hmm. But he kind of let like Harry let Paul kind of lead that narrative.
Yeah.
But then Harry was able to make like harsher decisions towards the end, which I know my personality. I think I'd have struggled in the final.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able
I don't know how I would. I don't know. I actually don't think I could have gone any further than what I did.
You went when you were.
Maybe the next day, but the final, I was like, watching it, I thought, oh gosh, no.
It is anxiety. Yeah, it is stressful. I trusted them straight away. When I saw it was Jonathan and Alan, I was like, oh, this is great. Was it the same?
Yeah, that definitely shows in yours. With the civilian one, it's probably a different experience because these are all strangers.
Yeah.
And Amani had been on the same carriage as me. Linda, I don't think I'd spoken to. I think looking back, I probably just thought,
who are these people?
Okay. That is my honest, true opinion of how I felt. However, what I did like that it was all females.
Yeah.
So I just thought, we're going to have the best time in here, just causing absolute havoc. Yeah.
Try and analyse the group that you're with. Every season is going to be different. Kind of observe a little bit. Just try and be really observant and try and get your ears into everywhere.
Be yourself, unless yourself is too much or too little, then maybe just change a little bit.
Adjust it.
And literally, like, you'll think you've got a game plan. You have to just take it day by day. Have fun as well. Like, if you get on, have fun. It's only 3 weeks and it's the best experience ever. You don't want to look back and think, I wish I said such and such was a traitor. Like, if you think they are, get enough people around them.
Yeah, gather numbers. Yeah. Gather numbers and then just say
Go for it.
Yeah, why not?
What you're not going to be is watching it and go, I knew they were a traitor, and everyone's like, yeah, sure you did.
Exactly.
So you're better off just saying it. Stay it with your chest and have fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. Thanks so much for watching.